What's up, man? Oh God, we're live! Whoa! I can't see myself, so I can't see if we're live.
We're live.
We're live?
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome to D&D 5th Edition. We are running a Baleful Hell, which is a continuance, adapting in portions of Tomb of Annihilation, with the goal being hopefully getting these guys to level 20 without a TPK.
What?
Well, not just this portion. There's a
We're
big
gonna
white
level
world.
20 today, guys.
Yeah, today.
Slam dunk.
Yeah, 15 levels.
Check.
And we're done. So really happy to have everybody back. We are now in the year 2019. And over the holiday break, yes, bombastic. A lot of people's colon sounded like that. A lot of spice was consumed.
There will be no more Taco Bell at our speakeasy sessions.
That's not true.
Lesson learned.
Right.
Let the spice flow.
We just won't
Yeah.
get
I
40.
prefer to take a Pepto and plug the spice out.
So we made some fixes within the studio, more to come as we go. So we're very excited to have you guys here. So where we left everybody off was the great battle of Camp Vengeance. Throughout a rainy afternoon, the head of the Order of the Gauntlet, who had established Camp Vengeance,
That's my guys.
yeah, brought out everybody and was giving a rousing speech and was kind of trying to bolster the troops' morale. Everybody's a little bit disillusioned as the jungle continues to eat away at all the infrastructure that we have. And so while he was up on the parapets for Camp Vengeance having the conversation, a scream, Wilhelm-like, was overheard, and a body fell, and there you go, and impaled itself on the ramparts. And as they looked up, they could see a rather generously sized red dragon attacking an airship that was flying overhead, and it ripped the back half of the ship apart, and a large portion of that fell on the ramparts, crushing the senior leadership of the Order of the Gauntlet, and made a bridge of debris for the undead that has encircled this camp to come in and start pillaging and ripping through. Luckily, the team had been performing maintenance on the back end of the camp, and so the continued rains that were going to wash out that side, they had identified the issue and had fixed it through the use of magic and elbow grease. Find that at your local hardware store. So they go through a very long battle. Another zombie T-Rex has been found.
And owned.
And owned. And so, they went through and murdered a lot of the undead and are now at a decision point. They have made good friends with the Blaze of the Flaming Fist, Liara Portier, and she is the commander of all Flaming Fist forces on the continent of Chult, and has been visiting with our team.
Is it Lydia?
Liara. Have a meat stick. So they went through, are currently going to see if they can either move out and see if there are any survivors from another smoking section of the ship that got torn out, which is due north of their position. We also know that there were folks dressed like Genji in green suits of armor that continued downriver. We know that through a soothsayer named Annette that there is some kind of red wizard bastion of power somewhere in the interior of the island, and they are looking at freeing two of the prisoners within Camp Vengeance and seeing if they can use them to find their way back to where this camp might be, so that they can assess what's going on there. So there's a lot of different directions that the party can go. We open up the morning after the attack, and Liara Portier has summoned you to the command tent, where you see the newly commissioned leader of the Order of the Gauntlet hurriedly scribbling out orders, trying to develop patrol schedules and get the maintenance of the camp up and running. You've been summoned by the 2 guards that have been accompanying Liara, and you open the tent flap. What would you like to do?
Just logistically then, so we did have a long rest between last session and this session.
Yeah.
Cool, so click those buttons, guys.
Click buttons.
And during that long rest, I will have spent time with the shield that I found to attune to myself with it so that I can equip it and get its bonuses.
Bonus is...
Okay.
And you guys have been offered a resupply for delivering Undrill, the priest, from the port all the way up the river to Camp Vengeance. And
That's
so
rations.
he is leaving. Say again?
What do you mean by resupply?
Well, it was any equipment that you think you would need. If they have it, you can requisition.
Got it.
And
Potions of healing.
things like that.
Scrolls.
My list that I had sent to you, would that have been all approved stuff?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would not have been approved of that list? It was an ink pen, silk rope, 20 blocks of insect.
The insect repellent and the silk rope,
are not available.
they would not have that.
Okay, so the ink pen and flask of oil and empty vials of bell pouch are good.
Yep.
Cool, thank you.
Do they have any guns or cannons? Nuclear bombs, grenades?
No. You notice that there are no any types of artillery. It's all hand short bows and long bows that they use from the ramparts to fire out as things get close, and then you also have magic users and the like.
What was the elf woman's name?
Zendara.
Zendara? Allah?
Zendara.
It's with an L.
Got it.
Xandala.
There you
Whoa. And this
X
is what
that
she
dollar.
looks like. Should be on the screen just a moment.
Oh.
Oh, that's the Yara. That's the Yara Portier.
There
The
you go.
notes,
Oh.
the notes are in Slack. Yeah.
So
I mean, she's the
She's the elf
fireball
she was the one
flinging
slinging
chick,
fireballs,
fly invisible,
with
save our
relations
asses.
to the her
She
dad.
made me invisible and fly last time, so she's my girlfriend.
She thinks that her father was on that airship and would like us to go see.
What was her name again? Yeah, we gotta go check out the crash site.
Zendala.
Zendala. Zandala.
X.
What did I say?
Z.
Yeah. X.
Z sound
With
letter.
an X.
Z sound letter followed by A N.
So we are in the tent, and it's Liara Portier and Mendronius is here as well.
Portier, not Portier. Thank you.
Sydney, sister. Well, top of the morning to you. Thanks for
My name is Valka.
Yes, we know you.
You guys had extensive conversation.
Please come forth. I wish to bestow upon you a charter of exploration.
I will reach out my
Let's
hand
do
to
it.
accept. Thank you.
Ooh.
Let me read. Show the camera. Oh, shnikes.
That's beautiful.
Trying to.
so
The city-state of Baldur's Gate. By order of the Flaming Fist Mercenary
Should have given
Company,
someone who's actually literate.
Inferno Brigade. Inferno Brigade. Fort something. Chilt.
Chilt?
Bear with me.
Where's Chilt?
Charter of Exploration.
Well, where is the character?
On behalf of the city-state of Baldur's Gate and Duke something Ravengard, Liara Portier, Blaze of the Flaming Fist and commander of Fort Daniels, yes. Do you hereby commission the listed members of Ramshackle Production to explore Chult without hindrance from the Flaming Fist Mercenary Company? And then our names are in order, mine at top. And one Jotun Regis. Who is this Jotun? Be it known to any who read this that this
Jotun
expedition
Regis.
has paid the requisite license cost and has the full support and blessing of the Flaming Fist to conduct expeditions into the restricted jungles of Chult. They retain ownership of any relics recovered that are not already on the restricted list published by the Lords of Waterdeep and Duke Ravengard.
Nice.
Signed, Liara Portier. With the signet ring thing. What is it?
Seal.
The seal.
That's beautiful.
It is super nice.
If only Dave could read.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the biggest problem.
Jotun Regis and Kelly.
Yeah,
Look at the writing, it's hard to read.
Let's go old school. Jotun Regis and Kathy Lee.
Let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Regis!
So she presents this to you, and this is where a lot of folks that try to bring things out that aren't sanctioned. Think of them not so much as like trying to protect the arts or any of the archaeological discoveries or anything like that. They just regulate trade, and so they don't want a lot of stuff coming in and out or dangerous artifacts. As you guys know, that Dindar, the Night Serpent, is located, according to legend, under Chult, and so they want to heavily regulate what is going down and going through the jungles and anything that's being brought out.
So they're like groups of Flaming Fists just patrolling. So this is in case we might.
Yeah, in
encounter
case like you're out there, it also gives you validity, possibly with people you bump into as you're going through your travels.
Certainly appreciative of the rite of passage you've given us. I think we need to confer amongst ourselves to figure out what our next step is still. We didn't quite decide if I recall last night, but I'm a bit tired from the exertion of saving Valkyrie's life again.
I think you would be used to it by now.
Yes, Valkyr, it seems that you have put quite the tax on all of us.
I'm just sitting eating candies out of a little bag.
So, if you don't mind, may we excuse ourselves for a few and figure out what we're going to do?
Well, that is why I've summoned you. What is your next move? I still would like to extend my offer should you wish to return to Port Manzaru and on to Fort Beluran. You're more than welcome to accompany us. That's the direction we will be going. I will be dispatching on my return shall we say, arcanist to be able to come through and create a teleportation circle so that we might be able to quickly aid Camp Vengeance here should the Tide of Dead again crash against its shores.
It seems like a nice idea to be able to get back here expeditiously. Are your lads done with our map?
Oh, yes, certainly we are. Here you go. She hands that over.
Takes
Your
back.
completeness
Sure.
in this map is
Go for it.
quite impressive.
Good.
So, what are we thinking? Because Zendala still would like us to check out that airship.
I think we want to do the tasks that are shortest term commitment before the
What
longest
about-
term commitments.
Annette.
Well,
She
Are you
says
okay?
there's a base deep in the Aldani Basin.
I mean, as I say, we have 4 options. We go with Blaze here.
Yes.
We go look into the airship. We follow up on the information we've got about Genji's poor sister. Or we explore deeper to find the Aldani Basin.
Did you say horror, sister?
No, it's horde.
Oh, you watch your tongue. These are respectful piece of human swine.
Indeed. That's why I question his statement. Her statement.
I know you want to make light of the situation to
Horrible
make it
person.
easier, but I mean, it is a sister.
puts
But
the
as
ass in the
we learned
mouth.
last night, he has two sisters that are missing, and we need to help maybe. So I put it to the group. I just want to see the world and help you lads. I don't mind which way we go.
I am willing to help with an airship, but after I must pursue sister, regardless of
Very
what
good.
company this is.
Yes.
And if we're pursuing these Jade, who seem to be pretty skillful in what they do, securing the loyalty of this elf wizardress might be of benefit to us. And if looking at the airship will put her in debt to us, then we've got a fireball swinging badass that we can go deal with these. Would you call them Jade shit-the-kits?
Kerosene.
Kerosene, he said. He needs kerosene. Yes.
So what do you
Someone
think?
clean out his ears.
The Great One Champion Regis,
Just wait till
what,
it's my watch.
what do you think we should do?
I think the airship might be the best course of action. I did want to ask where Fort Bellyron was, because that's where I'm
So,
heading.
yeah, if you go back to the map of Chol, in the northeast corner by where, so yeah, you guys can see it there. So the tallest finger that's coming off the north end of the... It disappeared.
We're getting there.
Up, 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 hey! So you can see it, that U at the very top that just got covered. Yeah. So that's the main bay that Port Naranjaro is in, and then northeast of it is where the fort is.
Okay, so the opposite of where
Yes.
the airship
Love you, Dad.
potentially crashed.
Hello, young Luke Poop.
If you
Welcome to the chat.
Hi.
My name is Valka. I am a bard. And I'm here to sing you a tale.
oh no.
So if you were to on the map where we are right now,
Near your camp vengeance. It's
camp
marked.
marked, and then the airship was southwest.
No, the airship was northeast.
Okay. And Camp Belleron, where we need to go, where she wants us to go, is far northeast.
Far, so no, northwest
Okay.
is where the airship is starting to list and go down. Then northeast in the discovered areas, that's where the fort is and where she's going to head back to where her headquarters is at.
So I mean, we'd still be traveling in the northerly direction.
We should take this Luke Poop with us on that quest.
I 100% agree.
Yes.
Looking at the discovered areas, is there a waterway that would, if we went to the airship, would it be easy for us to head to a waterway back, or this is the waterway up to Camp Belleron here?
No, so the river you came down from the port
Yeah.
is the river that they're going to take to go back to the
So
fort.
we would have to backtrack. If we went to the airship, we would have to backtrack to this location to go back to the northeast.
So if you go to the fort, you would be backtracking.
Okay.
You would be going to the northwest through the jungles to get up to where the airship is.
Okay.
We
But
don't-
in
we don't
looking
go
at
by plans.
we could continue to trek through that till that we could follow the coast around if need be, but we'd be fording a long way.
Is the coast better than through the jungle?
We want to go out and come back.
I'm not from here. I don't know.
We want to go out and come straight
I
back.
think that's what we do. Is we go look into it. It can't be too far, and we come back here.
I'm gonna throw my hat in for helping out the elf wizard that gave me all the magical powers last night, and
Whoa.
I want to help her. She's pretty.
Do tell.
We did the airship.
She gave you
And
magical
almost on
powers.
cue, the
She made me
flap
invisible to
opens
fly.
behind you, and
Anything else?
Zendala comes walking in. She has
Ron
her.
spits out his drink, and then like wipes himself off and like holds the flap for her. Goes, "Milady."
She comes in, and walking around her shoulders is her little pseudo dragon familiar.
Ooh.
And you notice as she comes by, and there's a little bit of wind that blows through. Her hair flips up, and you see black spots on the nape of her neck.
Mmm.
Can I use a
Perception check if you.
Oh, I want to see if it's some sort of sickness that can I use a medicine.
Yeah, medicine check. You get a roll at advantage since you would be very much focused on every detail. of
22
her.
medicine check.
Okay.
kind of check am I making?
You're making a perception check.
Oh, that's a 24.
Okay, 24, 22.
8. I'm on the wrong side of the 10.
Yeah, so the amount of incense to cloud the smell of death on the outside is so thick it's almost burning your eyes a little bit from the corner of the tent that you're standing at. Since the two of you are right by the flap as it comes in, they actually look like black scales that are on her neck, and she goes walking past. You don't think that it's a sickness at all. You think that it's a manifestation of. See, that was a 22.
Yeah.
So, whenever you were traveling through the Underdark, you would come through the Underchasm and had popped up near the Sunset Mountains. That was a big area where dragons used to live, and it was they had vials of dragon blood back in the old days that they would, if somebody was grievously hurt, they would treat them with it in order to help them. And it's pretty much giving them like steroids and a Z-Pack today. She would have been treated with that, and one of the manifestations of getting that dragon blood commingling with yours in a medicinal ceremony like that is that you start manifesting the scales.
Okay. So not quite dragonborn, but dragon-like features.
She's
got some scales
treated.
coming down
Yeah,
her.
she got
down
treated
her
with dragon blood.
Okay.
Gave her some fun traits.
Yes.
Weird.
And she says,
Speak of the devil, which I mean no offense. Speak of the elf. Thanks for joining us. We're just discussing what we were going to do.
But we were saying only nice things, of course. I love you. I mean, good to see you again. Good morning.
yes, Bronson.
Isn't this entertaining?
I will say you are quite the silly man. Have you decided if you're going to be accompanying me to go and see if any of those survivors off the back portion, the rearward area of the airship that crashed northwest of here, will you be assisting me in this endeavor?
Braun stands up super straight, clicks his heels together way too loudly, and goes, "At your service, madam."
Well, certainly I am not married. So please don't age me.
And he blushes and goes, "Oh, that's interesting information."
Mademoiselle.
And she kind of pats you on the shoulder and says, "Have you concluded your business here?"
Oh, we got the map, and we know what we'll be up to after we conclude our investigation, milady. But we are at your disposal.
That's fantastic.
Yes, the blaze. So I think what we shall do is head out with our friends in Dala here and look into the airship and return post haste. We can't be gone more than a day or two. It didn't look like it fell that far.
It was a day's hike, right?
I mean,
You don't know how thick the jungle is. You don't know how the terrain
Yeah, we saw
undulates.
That's
It's
true. We don't know
hard
how
to
far
say.
it is.
Could you wait for us here until we get back before you head to Belrond?
I am afraid that there are many things that need my attention, and sitting out here on the frontier is not the best use of my cycles.
Understood. So we'll follow behind you as soon as we can, and we'll meet you there. Which means, of course, Annette, our journey with you to the Aldani Basin will be put on hold for a short bit, right?
And that's not in here. She's
Not
outside with Unbrule talking.
I'm looking to the group thing, yeah. Definitely put that on
Sorry,
hold.
didn't she say she was gonna do something with a teleportation circle here?
Well, she's going to. She had said probably in like a month or two's time, she
when
would
they get
end
to
up
where they're going.
sending an arcanist down to create a summoning circle or
So
a
that
teleportation
eventually,
circle.
the place that she's going, this camp in the far northeast, will have a teleportation circle between Vengeance and that camp.
Yeah.
Fast
You know,
travel.
later. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious if we could take advantage of that yet, but not yet. It sounds like.
So,
Quick clarification: why would we be going with her to this camp? So she invited us. but I
She
can't
invited
remember.
you.
Oh,
You guys
okay.
are capable fighters.
Got it. Okay, I understand.
So
I was just making sure there wasn't a figurative quest card that we were like ignoring.
yeah, I can't hear meta. My ears don't work.
Wasn't that a question?
Oh, bro.
This is terrifying.
Are those all the?
Yeah.
Oh yes, Nancy. Yes. We have explore the Aldani Basin, get a boat, and then the assassination attempt.
And then like the overall
Yeah.
one of
Kill
the,
a demon
the
baby.
death curse.
Yeah. True. Ooh. Fun choice. Why are you looking at me like that?
So,
You're the one making it weird.
Zandala,
Not true.
do you need to collect your things? I think we need just a few minutes and then we're ready to head out.
Yep.
Well, I have been easing my gears and getting my rest. I had a very relaxing trance this morning, so my head is clear and I am prepared to venture forth.
It's fantastic. I'm more of a fan of house myself, but I understand some of the trance. Shall we?
I like it.
I don't think I got it.
Thank you.
EDM he's talking about.
Shall we go?
Music. Oh, fair. Dance.
Let's use the term lightly though. Music. Like, every
Uh,
Fair enough.
yeah.
We're gonna make the rounds and see what sort of supplies we need to gather before we head into the jungle where it seems that dinosaurs vomit zombies all the time. And then we'll be ready in about 15 minutes.
Very well. I shall see you by the Sally Port on the south side.
See you at the gate. And Bronson, check with these guys and go, I'm gonna see if I can scrounge up some potions in this place, some bandages, etc., before we hit the road. Make sure you got your mosquito salves, etc., any of that.
Valka wouldn't mind seeing her Sally Port.
Are you saying that out loud or under your
She
breath?
already left. Said she
No.
left.
We're all saying, like, hey, we'll all be back. here in
Roll
15 minutes.
a sleight of hand, maybe. No, that's dexterity based. Do a deception check.
Can I make a
performance?
chivalry slap
Stealth?
Which one? I'm rolling the dice here. You gotta make a
You have to
decision.
choose.
It's a 15.
Ooh.
Deception.
A plus
Are
11.
you proficient in innuendo?
Check it
So,
Valky's not one
under
to
his
be
breath,
trifled
he
with.
says this. Genji, you hear it. And
Of course I do.
That's great.
it's up to you how you take it.
No PvP, please.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you make
yeah.
fun of it.
No. How's he standing?
Uh,
Does he have like one
lazily?
leg? Does he have one leg like locked out?
Yeah.
Can I just pull it back
Yeah.
the knee? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna in the back of the knee.
And so Zendala, as she's starting to make her way out, looks and sees him narrowly collapse under his own weight, and then stands back up, and she kind of wrinkles her brow, and her dragon is just sitting on her shoulder, like staring at Valkyr the entire time that they're walking out, with its head kind of tilted.
So,
So she exits the tent.
did I notice that as well? Did I hear him as well, or only Genji?
Only Genji.
Okay.
Because he had a really good.
Got it.
You are disgusting human being.
So you
Good
do
thing
that.
I'm not human.
I'm gonna go by the healer's tent and see if I can render some
Excuse
some
our
aid, and then we'll meet by the Sally Port in 15-20 minutes.
Yep.
So you're
I'm gonna try and buy some
Where's that
healing
Sally
potions if they
Port
have it
again?
here.
Okay.
Or ask for some. If we
Yeah,
just have
so the Order of the Gauntlet has agreed that they will expend 30 arrows to help cull out some of the undead, to give you birth to get out. They really can't spare more to make it fully clear.
That's fair. They're pretty strapped for supplies. Yeah.
But they're gonna try to reduce numbers so you can at least get to the offset before the jungle starts. And as far as supplies, roll a D percentile, please.
We do a quick inventory of
89.
89.
Healing
Okay, so they have a D4's worth of health potions.
Ooh.
Yeah, do it.
Come on. One.
I have one healing potion.
So I've got actually I have 3 healing potions, but
Same.
I've got some ointment. 2 uses of the ointment left, which is like a minor healing potion. Aegis, I need to give you this healer's kit. If someone goes down, you can use it, and you'll be able to stabilize them.
I have one already.
You have one? Who doesn't have a healer's kit? Because I can do it with magic, and I don't need the kit, and it's...
I don't know.
Do you need proficiency with it?
No.
No?
I
I'll
do
take
not
one.
have
What does it
a
do?
kit of healing.
I'll give it to
Helps you.
Valga
Yeah, you can
with
leverage
your
it to
goodness.
stabilize.
It has 9 out of 10 uses.
No,
I've already used it
like
once.
So go in here.
So go add a healer's kit, and then in the notes of the healer's kit,
Without
put
needing to
9/10.
make a medicine check.
Oh, nice.
Double check everybody that your equipment cards, you have everything, because from that last game, some of the stuff could have got mixed up. We tried to take pictures to
Oh yeah,
I'm
make
just
sure that
missing
we
a
got
couple of,
everything.
I'm good. I've got everything I have.
How much?
Just 2.
Healer's kit. So we've got a little bit of healing. My healing, my health.
Yeah, I don't think I had any of the special armor or anything.
No, I did off the dragon. I found this, or I was given this shield that they found in the gear, and you guys can look at the shield. And after spending some time with it, essentially what it means is that if we're in combat and I'm within 10 feet of me and someone shoots arrows, I'll take the arrow shots.
Whoa!
But it does appear to have some sort of ability to protect me from the
Combo
arrows.
that with my rage, where like if they're not attacking me, it's at disadvantage and you get damage reduction. So you're basically they're forced to attack you, even though I'm raging on them.
Yeah, so it does appear to
Combo very awesome.
be able to help take some of those arrow strikes. So I think it's going to be good for us. Unfortunately, we've been fighting dinosaurs and zombies who don't appear to be shooting a lot of fucking arrows at us, but should we encounter things with arrows?
Do you know from how you tuned with that shield whether or not a zombie vomited from outside of a Tyrannosaurus would be
Yes,
considered a projectile?
Good question.
It's a fair question.
The good news
All I'm
is...
saying is maybe give it a try later.
Yeah, well the good news is, Bronson, I think we're going to have plenty of opportunity to test it.
And Hugh takes a long drag off of his pipe and says, "It makes me think back to a bar I was at called the Leaky Nip, and there was a lot of projectile vomiting going on in there, and it, by definition, is a projectile. So I wonder."
Quite right, yeah.
Hugh, are you going to continue to travel with us then? We still intend on seeing into this lizard for you, but...
Well, we have an accord, and so I'm going to honor it. And the big thing I want to get out of it is just, if we come across that giant red lizard, we're gonna do him in.
You have my word as both a dwarf and someone who doesn't like lizards that take flying ships out of the sky. And that seemed like
That's a rather specific thing that grinds your gears.
It's his, in fact.
But I too share that.
I knew we had something in common. I knew we'd find common ground. I knew we would.
There's a lot in common between the two of us. A lot.
Time shall tell, my friend.
And the rest of us leave. It's true though.
Science. Cool. So I'm gonna go to the healer's tent and just see what aid I can offer. I don't want to expend any spell slots, but medicine checks, whatever, to try to help it as much as I can before we leave.
Roll a medicine check for me, please.
21.
21. Yeah. So the cuts and bruises and wounds that the opposite side of the base felt. All that is you've done a good job in maximizing the amount of healing supplies that are there to get that fixed.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anybody else want to do anything?
So while I'm securing that potion, I'm just gonna ask the equipment tent, is there anything else that those guys have that might help us while we're going to investigate?
What specifically would you be interested in?
What do you got?
What are you interested in?
What do you buy? What are you selling?
What do you sell? I'll buy it at a good price.
Looking for anything defensive, as it were. Any sort of armor that my lads can wear. It's hot out here. Any sort of I know I got the only healer potion that you got up for grabs. You got any additional healers kits? Nothing of the sort.
I've got, as we go through here, and he pulls up his manifest, and you just see red lines through line after line after line after line after line. If you need crossbow bolts, got some of those. I've got a few arrows, although we really need that for protecting the fort. I've got some acid, I've got some pitch.
I'll take a bottle of pitch.
Okay, so we'll call it just a vial of...
Flask of oil.
Oh. There you go.
Hey, look at that!
Alchemist fire.
Ooh. Thanks, lad. What do I owe you?
No, this is part of your resupply, as I understand from the commander.
Oi. And I'll give him the, let's do the secret Order of the Gauntlet handshake. And then he just gives him a fist bump.
Gauntlets.
Yeah, exactly. That's the secret handshake.
Keep it simple.
It's like, don't tell anyone you know that. It's sacred.
The sacred fist.
I'm gonna put
Exactly, yeah.
I'm gonna
So
put my
great.
insect repellent on now while they're all.
Do you remove your shirt to do this?
Absolutely.
LARP it.
LARP.
Sorry, I was just channeling my inner lead.
Okay.
Yeah. So while we see him doing that, I still have.
A lot of people in camp see him do that.
You should we burn? Since we're gonna be traveling to the jungle, burning incense probably isn't the best. And I do still have 80 applications of the salve.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lather up. Could you get to between my shoulder blades, Yolton?
Ooh.
Most definitely.
So I'm
I'm not gonna
do
put
you-
my shirt
do you
back
need,
on and
Do you
start
need some
playing
too? So that's 1, 2. Yolton, do you need some?
Are you clean chested? Are you
Yeah.
I
bare?
have some, but if it's easier to just.
Scourged Asmar as if every hair's been burned off.
Mm.
I'll just decrement 4. So all 4 of us are putting on salve. We're all salving up as well.
You see a thrusting codpiece.
It's getting velt.
Yeah, that's a sweet tech vest.
I knew a man named Velt once. He was a good man. But not
Dan,
a good
we got
bar.
you. You're salved up.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start using the little.
Is that 24 hours?
24 hours.
People see like musical notes
Yeah,
and fire
coming out of
dancing
it.
around me.
Give me a performance check at advantage.
Yes.
I just like that it's his torso gyrating on screen.
22.
22, yeah. So morale in the camp is greatly improved. Enough to where, as you guys are loading up at the sally port to head out, you're hearing some of the guards whistle the tune as he's been playing, and you're seeing some storm clouds off in the distance, starting to rumble more to the south. And it looks like there could be rain heading this way.
So I'm gonna put my shirt back on as we start to get ready.
Yeah.
I'll
We
just
already
like
left, or
whisper.
we're still at the gates?
You guys are at the gates.
I'm gonna whisper and wink to a couple of the guards.
Okay.
I'm gonna yell at the lads at the gate before they open it. You guys got any spare oiled cloaks around for the travel? Any chance we could get
Oiled
some?
cloaks?
Yeah, for rain.
Oh,
Waterproof coats. Yeah.
no, yeah, they've got the equivalent of like a waxy, almost like a lard that you could rub on it, but it's basically like they use that to try to treat tints, not necessarily garments that you wear.
Okay.
Do they have shelter house?
Do they what?
Shelter house? Do they have like shelter house or tents?
Yeah.
Do we have any of those?
No.
Well,
mean-
maybe we should pick some up.
I have a bedroll in
It's not gonna keep the water off you.
We're gonna do a quick jog back over to the supply tent and see if they have
What do they
a
have
lead-to type
tent-wise?
thing, like a.
And Haggis starts laughing, and you
Wait.
or not Haggis,
Hugh.
sorry, Hugh.
Yeah. I was like, wait. You got any land
Yeah. An inception takes place. No. Hugh starts laughing, and you see him go over, and he kicks the center pole out of Beans's
tent
again, and was like, I don't think he's using his. Why don't we just roll that up? And the two guards that are over there, like, they're just gonna shake. All right. And so
Bronson jogs over and goes, Orton, this is on you, lad. Helps him roll it up and puts it in his bag.
Okay.
Yeah. We stole Beans' tent. That's great.
yeah, Hugh is extremely happy with this.
Bronson jogs back over. I'm assuming like Beans' backpack is there or something.
Yeah,
We
so
left
he's-
some belongings
yeah.
to this, right? So I'm gonna slip 2 gold coins in it. That's it. Just
Okay.
leave him paid. I'll put 2 gold coins right on the top of his pack so he sees them.
So imagine you've got rows of these tents
Yeah.
that are set up. One is missing. There are pieces of wood to kind of keep it elevated with tropical like palm leaves laid on the ground, and then you would have had this lean-to that would be over the top of it. And now it's just a backpack that's sitting out there.
About to get rained on.
A bedroll that is kind of haphazardly laying down on the ground, and you guys are looking over as Bronson is putting the 2 gold coins down. You're hearing this, and Hugh takes a big shit right on the ground next to the foundation piece, and he looks over at you with a pretty wry grin on his face and says something to the effect of, you're leaving your valuables behind, I'm leaving mine, and pulls his trousers up, cinches them, and starts walking towards the gate.
Bronson's putting the 2 gold coins down and adds a 3rd one. And then we can leave.
So,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
so it's our group, Zendala and Hugh,
Thank you.
in Annette at the gate. So
No, Annette,
he's gonna wait for us here.
you guys said you're going to be waiting for a while, so
Okay.
I think she's going to leave and try to find somebody else to take her.
Oh, shit.
Annette, we'll only be gone a day or 3. Why don't you wait for us here? We'll be back, and then we'll get you to the base. And
I do not want to be a taxation on you and what you would like to go on the adventure on.
you're not the taxation. We'd like to secure the services of this powerful wizard to help us as we go on your journey. She's a boon to all of us. So if you can give us a couple of days.
Well, that is something very nice for you to say about me.
Oh, sorry, Zendala. I didn't see you there. How I could miss your magnificence, I don't know. But the sun shines on us all. So Annette, can you wait for us a couple of days?
Oui.
Okay. I think she's.
Hello.
Feeling down? Time for a little G Fuel. Gamers Fuel. Back to the action.
So, shall we set forth in the general direction that we're heading?
I think so.
Did it get wobbled?
I missed it.
Flanges wobbled.
Wobble flange?
Oh man, what a
There we
great
go.
family name.
It's no waggle shaft.
Yeah. Well, that's his cousins are the waggle flanges.
The waggle shaft.
All right, so it is now 3 p.m.
Great time to be setting out for the day.
Right.
I mean, it took a
Oh,
whole
wow.
fucking day, but
Yeah.
we can make a little bit of headway.
What would you guys like to do? You gonna head out?
We're heading
Yeah.
out.
So
Let's
you
consult
hear
with
the
her.
a ram's horn blow, and then you're just hearing thump, 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 thump. And there's the cacophonous collective moan of all the undead. You're starting to hear it wane a bit.
Do we not
There you
have a
go.
map ready to go? What's going on here?
Whoa.
Sorry.
Bro.
Put your mini out there.
I just was trying to put us into a general marching order of where we're, as
I'll
we're
be
heading
up
out of the gate. Do we have a mini for Sandala and Hugh? Bronson?
Oh, yeah.
She has makeup on.
So good.
He has no arm.
Like, look at those details.
You're just a cleaner.
But he's got his pipe.
Does that generally work for everyone?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Because of my knowledge of the... I want to be sort of near at the front, but not on the point of the spear.
Well, you're a tracker, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to navigate which way we saw the.
Which way we go and stuff, and Hugh's right with me, so it's actually, I guess it's probably more like this, me and Hugh side by side, and then
That's how I'd have it.
Stalker in the rear with
More horizontal in orientation, though.
Hugh. You say the darndest things.
Hugh say the darndest thing.
Hey, it's a D&D. Nice little sitcom. Let's do this.
So yeah, we make.
Is this a metaphor of you like traipsing through hell together?
No.
You mean like when you just randomly jump through a portal you're not supposed to jump through? Sidetrack and disrail the entire
I
campaign?
fucking miss him.
Bolt for the jungle as they're giving us cover. So we're bolted for the jungle as they give us cover.
So let's review real quick before you guys set off. How much of like your rain barrels? Obviously, you can't take.
We're leaving the rain barrels and the water catchers in the boats next to Camp Vengeance.
Okay.
And we're on foot, so we've got food in our backpacks. We've got our water
I think we
skins.
should leave that
Water
stuff
skids.
within the walls of Camp Vengeance because it's going to get destroyed or stolen if we leave it outside the camp. The barrels and the water catchers.
Okay.
That's fair.
We should just leave it inside
Ask
the
those
walls.
guys to give us cover while we drag it
Just
inside.
let them use
Have
it
we really
while
not done that yet?
No.
We haven't done that yet.
Let
Is it
them
still
read.
there?
We just pulled
Maybe.
it on shore, I think.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
haven't
and ran
looked.
in.
Yeah, so I guess we could go check the
So we're going
canoes.
to. They're covering us, shooting arrows. Zombies are going down. They're clearing a path for us, and we go outside and go. We never dragged in the damn shit from the boats. Somebody help me! And Bronson's gonna jog
Yeah,
over and try
I'll
and pick
run
up a
over.
barrel.
I'll grab
Come
some
with me, yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab another boat.
So when we get to the boats, do we see that the barrels are there and intact?
Give me a perception check.
That's
Here we go.
with zombies.
Whoa! That's
Reroll.
cocked. 19.
19. So, as you look out, one of your boats is pretty significantly damaged.
Zombie chew
The
marks on it.
repair that you guys have done, you didn't really give it that much time to cure in a dry environment, and so one of the boats is kind of waist deep in water. The interior is filled up, and you've lost one rain barrel that kind of skeetered off.
So we're gonna drag the boats and barrels back up the hill, get them
Okay.
inside the gates, and be like, "Lads, watch this for us. We'll be back in a day."
Okay.
Let them close
And
the
then-
gates behind us.
and then move out. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll be like, "Oi, tell the lads in the gauntlet to get my stuff back inside and give them a fist bump."
Ching! Gauntlets.
Dave, stop your advertising.
So, kids need a good Twitch feed? Have you tuned into the two-time champion?
Disrespect does not need advertising. Get out of here.
I was gonna do it if Luke was watching.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, just to get him razzed up.
All right. So.
Getting razzed.
As we stand up and start traveling into the tree line, you're finding it relatively easygoing. There's not a ton of underbrush or vines or anything like that you're having to stomp through. So you could make pretty decent time. How cautious or deliberate are you guys going to travel to head
Pretty
northwest?
cautious, right?
Well, how, what do we know about the prevalence of other things other than zombies in this area? Like goblin tribes and whatnot. Because I know we've run into
We know about that.
Well,
Yeah.
we know we've run into them, but we don't know how prevalent
Hugh,
they are.
how safe do we need to be as we travel through this area?
And Hugh's like loudly singing as he like stomps.
No, so Hugh says that as I haven't been too far off to the west here, mostly down south of Chult and along the eastern half. I know that there are the Batari goblins who live interspersed. We've seen many a boat come back down the river with darts and arrows sticking out the sides. So they typically prefer to hit you unawares, and ambush tactics are what they employ. It's more about what's haunting you than what we might stroll across. There's the Tatterfolk, who are flying lizards that terrible humanoids. They like to raid and attack caravans that are going through. They take the supplies. We've obviously got that son of a bitch fire breather that's been flying up above overhead. We need to be cautious of that, but we end up seeing them, then we're going to take the attempt, right?
As much as absolutely. If it's to our advantage to attack them for sure. But we want to fight them on our terms, right, Hugh? So we can win.
I only got one more arm.
That's true.
We'll lend you a hand.
So then, to the soldiers of the group, so we should then travel somewhat cautiously. I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not like we're trying to sneak up on something that's right over there, cautious.
Yeah.
But like a common, like what at least what Genji would consider is like standard, tactical noise and light discipline and all that stuff.
Like we're marching and whispering.
Okay.
But we're not tiptoeing.
Okay.
So normal pace, probably.
Okay.
But we're
Right?
not
So
ready
No,
to
one
start
notch below
checking
normal.
in, so
Not stealthy,
like,
not normal, but
taking
in
off
the
everything
middle.
that makes
Sort of what we're
noise.
doing on the boat, like where I'm
A
looking.
little bit deliberate.
Yeah, I'm looking for the
Yeah.
path, and our guys that are our guys that are more perceiving of the environment are
Tell
listening.
you what we're not doing. We're not playing a loop while we're walking through the jungle.
We'll have to practice when we get to the next place. So yeah, I'm looking at the path, and then I guess Genji Bronson are eyes up for things that are going on around us.
I am aboard, I am.
No, don't do that.
All right, so you guys start moving into the jungle. Immediately, light starts to dim as you walk into the triple canopy.
Triple kill.
And all of you kind of have the hairs on the back of your neck sticking up. You're either hearing branches just snap, and they echo very eerily through this, kind of labyrinth of foliage. You hear the grunts and groans of undead, sometimes sounding like they're nearing your position, other times that they're wandering off. You can hear the roars of predators that are off, the hissing of reptilian, animals that would be making their home out there. It seems like everything is somewhat predatory. The animals, the environment itself. It's this is the deepest you guys have gone into a non-path, non-settled. This is true wilderness. And so, freshly minted level 5 party, I need somebody to give me a perception check and somebody to give me a survival check.
I got the survival. I'll do
I
perception.
can give you skill assistance as well, so if you want to roll that at advantage.
Oh. 23.
So, Genji, Hugh, and Glaz are, very quietly trying to pick out a way to be able to, orientate yourself going through this maze. You've got a pretty decent feel for the direction that you're going based upon where you saw the pieces go down.
Mm-hmm.
And you continue uneventfully for that afternoon. What did you have for perception
12.
check? 12. Yeah, it's relatively uneventful.
Okay.
Along the way, am I seeing any like herbs or leaves that
Nature check.
would be considered minor irritants?
Well, and I can also I want to help out with this too and look for Rhyoseth root, the 4 different kinds
Yeah.
that I'm aware of. Dancing monkey herb.
Natty 20, baby.
Mega leaf,
Oh,
half root,
First natty
cinnaberries.
20 in
Give 'em that
3
juice.
sessions. Yeah. Is it the thick or is it the funny stuff over here?
Lee has acquiesced and allowed us to drink the delicious one for success, and only be punished with the punishing one for punishment.
We do have it, so it's, for those that may be new or not, when we roll a nat 20, we get a drink. We roll a nat 1, we get another drink. Also, when we get to combat, we have these new cards from Nord Games that we have for critical success and failure to try them out as well. So that'll be interesting when we get to combat.
Oh,
God.
Can we get the tiger's
Oh
cold?
man, it's the
Yeah,
tiger.
these tigers are cold.
Oh, okay.
If by cold you mean room temperature.
And by that, are you ready to become totally activated?
I need that total activation, man. So,
What are you
So
talking
do
about?
you pull the crit card, or do we get to like pull it and read it out?
so natty 20 on the survival. nature
You
check.
will for you.
Okay.
Oh, there you go, sir.
Gut
This
rubs,
segment-
gut rot.
Brought to you by Got Rub's Gut Rot. Made of goblins, for goblins, by Got Rot.
By God, Rob, he always gets me every time.
Also, Robitussin.
Delicious.
Rub some taste
Yeah, rub some tusk. Alright, so you guys
I can smell it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
come across some of the dancing monkey and can make an attempt to harvest it.
I would like to
Okay.
attempt to harvest.
Sure.
Bronson proffers his flail and goes,
What,
"You need some help?"
What skill? Well, yeah.
No,
obviously.
We've got. I think I've got to cover.
All right, you
Dancing
got it.
monkey.
It's-
What is dancing monkey?
So the dancing monkey
It's
herb.
a flower.
Okay.
There were a number of them that had been indicated to us. I think the dancing monkey herb was some sort of healing, but I'm checking to see what my notes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no. Sorry. The dancing monkey. It's essentially it's a bit of a poison. You can give it to someone, and then if they fail it, if it hits them in such a way, they're forced to dance. So we could coat the tips of our weapons with it, and then stealthily I want to lean into Genji and say, "Or perhaps you can get some payback on young Valkyrie."
Stealth check?
I'm just gonna start laughing uncontrollably for no reason whatsoever.
Alt tab is your friend. Alt tab is your friend.
Yeah, 9
Trying
plus.
to gain
Yeah,
the
9.
system over here.
How much?
9 is my
Yeah,
stealth.
you definitely hear that.
I start laughing raucously.
So I
He
want
pretends he didn't hear it. That's great.
to walk over and attempt to try to harvest it.
Is that a nature check? Or
A nature
what?
check, I'm assuming.
I will assist you.
Okay, so I get that at
Oh, at advantage.
advantage. Yeah.
Sorry. It's different. Works different.
9.
Every roll is
Oh,
a
10. Yeah, so you get 2 applications worth, but you've just got like the fruit of it. So you think you may have to like cook it in order to get some type of a potency.
Okay.
It wouldn't just be like hit them with it.
Right.
That's kind of dangerous if there's like a fruit in the jungle that you just like mash into your friend's face and they start.
Okay.
They just floss for 24 hours.
Oh no!
That may be getting
For a
creative.
fortnight?
For a fortnight.
For 65, 30 seconds of a 10-day.
Sure.
All right, so I've got that then, and I guess let's continue on then.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right.
Oh, good idea. Oh, so funny. Oh, very good.
Cool.
Good,
I
good,
actually
good.
have a. It's cool. It's shiny. What it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right.
Harvested. Alright, so you guys, it's approaching dusk now. You're starting to hear louder sounds out into the jungles, and it's getting relatively dark. Are you guys going to continue with no light assistance, as Genji had noted before?
Who's in the front?
Me, Bronson,
I am,
Genji, myself,
myself.
and you.
I'll give Bronson the candle of continual flame.
I'm alright, lad.
Well, I don't.
Wait, what is that?
Those are
I've
the
got night vision goggles.
night vision goggles
You
that
got those
Chaz
from
built in.
Chaz from the beginning. Perhaps we should.
It's a wondrous item.
Perhaps we should make camp for the evening.
Oh, I see.
Instead of traveling in the dark in these unfamiliar jungles.
Can you see through those things?
They're a little foggy.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, definitely.
So let's set up a small camp. No fire tonight. Eat your dry rations.
Yeah.
No fire, no steel.
Was there a cave?
Sorry.
Every reference possible.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna set up camp.
Yep.
So what kind of an area are you going to be looking at?
Like it's like the base of a tree, all backs against the tree, like very small area, like an uncomfortable but restful camp.
Let's set up the beans tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So 15 minutes or so it takes you guys to get everything staked in.
Do we not have a tent mini? This is the worst D&D.
I have been after him to print me a tent
You piece of shit.
since he started his company.
I thought we did for sure have some.
Nope.
We have too much stuff.
Okay.
We don't have enough stuff.
Need more things.
I need more things.
I want tents.
I'll get you a tent. Handled.
You got it?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. What's the watch schedule this evening going to be?
I'll go first.
I will go last as usual.
We only need 4, right?
Yes.
It's
3.
entirely up to you.
Nah, so we can all get rested. So I'll
Yeah.
rest. Yeah. I'll go third then.
Okay. Burano-san.
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
20. Nice. 15 plus 5.
Okay. So as everybody's finally you have people roll around trying to get comfortable. They're scratching up against stuff, and it's difficult to hear out into the night. But as everybody settles down, you hear a vroom, vroom, and tree branches are breaking. Vroom,
Sounds like a herbivore.
vroom.
I wish I had the.
Sounds like they're gonna mate.
Thrashing Brontonon.
Nice.
And so you're hearing those noises off in the distance.
Okay. We have no fire, correct?
Correct. No
So Bronson's just gonna stand in place with his flails. Just kind of wait for it to pass. Yep.
Okay.
What is the wind blowing?
You don't know you're asleep.
No, so it would be coming from the
Tell us about nature.
southwest, blowing east-northeast.
Where do we hear the sounds then? I'm just trying to figure out if we're downwind or...
Wow, that's a good question.
That's a good question. You stump me, you get an inspiration.
It's a mostly east of where you guys are at. A ways away. You're thinking, maybe 300 feet, 400 feet off into the woods.
Fairly
Enough
close.
to where, it's close enough you're feeling the ground kind of shake a little bit with some of the steps, but not like right up on you.
So Bronson will just whisper, "You're all right, mates."
Okay.
Just let it pass.
Shift 2.
Yep. Going to sleep. I'll go nudge him and go to sleep.
9.
Okay.
He's playing his Game Boy.
Pokemon Go.
Ooh.
So it starts raining pretty hard, and it is hard for you to hear because you're hearing just repeated leaves getting hit with water. You're hearing the trickling as it's starting to collect and rush through. Valkyr, you're awoken as a stream of water is just very slowly making its way through your side of the tent, and it gets the nape of your neck and starts running ever so slightly down your shirt
Yes.
and wakes you up.
Yes. I'm gonna roll over. Oh, the water, just the water.
Sleep through it.
But you notice nothing else, just a lot of sound of rain.
Are we in danger of a flash flood or anything if it suddenly comes up? Or do you think we have enough?
Give me just a base intelligence check.
Natty 1.
Oh, get him out!
Give him that funk.
Get it out,
Give him that
get it
funk.
out.
Eat that face.
It's hard to yell when you're rolling ones with Dave Chappelle.
What?
God.
Get that poop down.
Go uptown, funk you up. Go uptown, funk you up.
I think it's got more concentrated, guys.
Oh god, oh that's so
Like,
much.
you put way
Oh.
too much in there. Oh my god.
Oh,
That's a
my
sipper
God.
now. You gotta sip on that for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
the point.
yeah, but if
It's
you
a
start,
punishment.
but if you start,
That's 2 punishments.
see, self-hazing is the way.
I kind of like it. It's
Fucking
spicier. I don't know
tea-
what
Dave,
it's in
is
this.
Fucking
Dan is skeptical of it.
Bitch ass teacher's pet Mike over here.
Oh, I,
It's,
think, I kind of like it.
He says, getting Lee's appreciation and acceptance.
It's got like a little chili powder aftertaste or something.
Oh, weird.
Everything he puts in there. Oh. Raw chicken broth. Weird.
Any guess you make, he's like, I did.
He buys chicken breasts and then pours that pink shit into a bottle with
Yeah.
cayenne
It's a
pepper
big
and
box of it
turpentine.
from McDonald's. Hey, it's
Oh,
the pink slime.
so I pretty much can't spell flood. Is the
Yeah, so you see that the whole ground is kind of dewy and muddy, so
Live
I mean,
on, bro.
water's gonna go where water's gonna go. And then you start really contemplating, why would it rain so much down here? And you start thinking about studying like weather currents and stuff like that back at the academy, and the different ways that they would try to manipulate it. And people were coming up with all kinds of weird things, like there's a flatulent turtle that's at one end of the world, and that's what makes the wind continue to blow. And I mean, there's just a lot of really weird theories that you poured over, and you're kind of debating and zoning out in your head to the sound of the rain, which one of those running theories you think is most accurate.
okay.
Hell, you know what they say? Blame it on the rain.
No,
Jesus.
They don't say that.
not once.
That's what they
Third
say.
watch.
That's what they say. But is there going to be rain down in Africa?
It gonna rain.
15.
15. Glaz, during your watch, you can see Valkyr shaking a lot, not from cold, but somewhat restlessness in his sleep.
Well, keeping an eye on the watch and my warhammer in my hand, I'll just
Kill Valkyr.
with my left hand, just
Oh.
gently like
Oh.
that's all right, that's all right, and then
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
He is burning up whenever you reach out to touch him, and sweating very hard.
Oh, 'cause he's
so I want to look closer at his skin and
Give me a medicine check.
yep.
There's nothing wrong with my character.
12. 12.
12. So as you're kind of patting him and poking around as best you can, using the candle of eternal light, is that what it's continual light?
Yeah.
Continual flame. You're going along and you're kind of feeling on him. His back is both very moist and also very hot, right on the like in between the shoulder blades and the spine. And there's a faint glow that you're seeing start to protrude through his cloak, like somebody has a flashlight and they're going through a blanket or something like that.
Okay.
He's hitting Azamar puberty.
I'm gonna gently
This is normal.
shake him awake.
Before that, I need you guys to leave the room.
Oh boy.
You stay here.
Oh.
Whoa! The plot thickens.
Turn the stream off. They'll watch it on their phone.
Son of a bitch!
You guys need a beer or anything?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Dave, you good?
Yeah.
You want one?
He said negative.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
So you are asleep in somewhat of a restful state.
Mm-hmm.
You come across what seems to be almost like a dinner party on this finely appointed terrace that's overlooking this large
This is a
valley.
dream.
You're not sure.
Okay.
So you're seeing people dance. You're seeing people mingling and talking. You feel a malevolent presence behind you,
Okay.
and you see a brown-haired woman, very, beautiful, fetching-looking gal, in just this weightless-looking dress that flows with the wind. And she exits from the covered part of the terrace where most everybody's mingled, bathed in torchlight. It's nighttime. She walks by herself to the end of the terrace, and you see her dress as it's like flowing out in a way. It's almost like in Thundercats, like the old cartoon of her
Okay.
Mumra would go, and it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like so much cloth. Like, where the hell did all that cloth come from?
Right.
That's what's flowing out of hers, and you're seeing different shimmers of colors in it, and you feel that malevolent presence behind you, and through you walks an individual, and he is wearing wraps all the way up his body that are these kind of dark cloth. And it goes around gauntlets, it's breeches, it's a chest
the wraps
piece and
are
a
over
cloak.
those.
Well, no, like it's wraps that are almost like an armor.
The wraps are the armor pieces.
Yes.
Okay.
And he pulls a blade, you hear it unsheath,
Yeah.
and then walks up and stabs her right in the back, and covers her mouth, and you see a blue light shoot out in all different directions, and Glass is waking you up at this point.
And I don't recognize either one of these people. So it's just like, to me, it's like a trippy dream experience, something, illusion, whatever.
Yeah, you want to try to interface at all before we bring everybody back
What do you
in?
mean by interface?
In the dream?
Can I move?
Yeah.
And can I speak?
You can try.
So, okay. There's these two characters in this thing. I'm like a third-person camera sort of thing. And it's all in slow motion. So at this point, like, for me to do any actions would be... So you're asking, do I want to do anything before he walks up and stabs her?
No, just like right after that event happens,
Yeah.
you want to look around at anything specifically or anything like that.
I do want to quickly look around. Does anybody react? Period. Like, there's all these other people around me, right?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
I guess that's over. I got a glass.
You may.
Man. Okie dokie.
So you don't see anybody react. You don't hear anybody react. You do see on the stab, as it rips through her dress,
Yeah.
you see the shimmer and almost like an overlay of different like landscapes. One that looks like the Feywild, one that looks more like the material plane, one that
This
looks
is
like
when-
a star field.
This is when the stab.
As the stab comes in, the shimmering colors coalesce into these different realms looking thing, and then she collapses.
Does the guy turn around at all?
No, because you're being woken up by glass.
Do I notice anything specific about the weapon he used?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Outside of its, you saw the flash of the blade as it came up,
Yeah.
but it's a very quick, like, behind and
Yeah. Okay.
poke. Let me get everybody.
So I'm trying to figure out if I should write it down to remember it so everybody wakes up.
He said we come back in here. You
Yeah.
okay?
I'm just talking to the viewers at home. So we got a good story continuation.
Good.
I don't think there's any.
Dream sequence. I like those. All those back in.
I want to, when he wakes me up, she wakes me up, I want to take some charcoal out of my bag quick and try and draw the scene.
Okay.
Real quick.
Que
Um,
pasó?
do either performance or intelligence check.
It's so much brighter in here.
Mm-hmm. This is way better. I can see.
Brr.
I can see with this lighting.
What do you guys think of potions?
I think they're great.
I'm gonna give
Is it good?
myself.
Is it stupid?
No.
I think it looks pretty, but functionally, I don't know if it matters that much. But it's a cool prop to have on the table.
Yeah, if we
That's why I
replace
did
the
it.
cards with those,
Because we have, I have like 10 more of these. So we could
Oh, I
we could have
see.
a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
And we also
guard
can drink
against
out of
barrier.
it.
Okay.
Sure.
Holy
Yes.
shit!
What did you roll over here?
So nat 20.
Ooh.
Performance, you said?
Ooh.
So the
I
roll
like
of
when story-driven rolls are
37
exciting
total.
results. 30? What?
Whoa.
You don't have a plus 17 anything.
And plus 11, and then I rolled a 6 on my bardic inspiration.
Wow.
So whatever he did,
So you
guys are
if
gonna-
the DC was nearly impossible, he still passed it, which basically is not
So
meant
you
to
maxed
happen.
out that roll completely.
Yeah.
In every aspect. Wow.
So you know what you just did? You just came back to life after 4 days and moved the boulder off the cave. that's the sort of feat that you just did.
So the feat was for me to take. I had charcoal.
Yeah, you were.
I was sketching it out.
Yeah.
What I saw in
Some
my
weird
dream.
things happened in the night, and you woke up sketching things.
Yeah.
Well, so the last thing we
don't know anything.
we're aware of is I was gently shaking his shoulder to try to wake him up, going Valkyr,
Wow.
and then
This is the 20. I also rolled a 1 during the dream sequence.
Wow.
Can we get a photo of you with both
I wouldn't
as
function.
a so we can put it in your?
Absolutely, we can.
What am I thinking of? The death announcement in the newspaper.
Yeah,
As a
the
obituary.
obituary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As obits, yeah.
So, yeah, thank you, sir. You wake him up, and you're startled,
Before you go there.
Glaz, how quickly he shoots up and immediately starts rummaging through his package and through his pack and pulls out some parchment and charcoal and immediately starts drawing.
do I think
You-
he's like fevered? Is he in a fevered state? Or
Yes.
He just, okay. So I'm gonna like watch what he's doing for a second, and then like slap him a little bit. Like, Valkyr, come to.
No, wait.
So you
Okay.
you notice two things out of what he's drawn.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's a Banksy.
It's really good. You are amazed that it is his exact silhouette from the rear, and it looks almost like he's dancing with a woman who you see looks like Mistra that you've seen depicted repeatedly, who is the goddess of the weave and magics. And it looks like there's Valkyr dancing with her. And it strikes you as very odd that he would wake up and be drawing what you assume is probably some kind of weird, soon-to-be pornography.
Sex dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Valkyrie, I thought you were sick, man. I'm worried about you.
Oh,
You're
wait,
just having
wait.
yourself a young lad's dream. I'm gonna go back to my watch.
Okay, I'll finish.
Okay.
However long I mean,
Nocturnal emission.
it could take me a while but I guess on that roll I have like a perfect image in my head of everything.
Yeah, it's still the third watch.
So how long till I get done?
It'd take you a solid 20 minutes
Okay.
to really sketch this out, but I mean, it is almost photorealistic. Like the shading, and you guys are amazed you, because the rest of you guys are
We're
asleep.
asleep, yeah.
You're amazed, one, that as he's drawing this, it seems like the more charcoal gets on there, the more he's returning back to normal. As he's drawing this picture out, you see the light in between his shoulder blades, the two little strips, that those start to not glow anymore, and his hair is hanging down and dripping with his sweat. But you start to see it kind of dry out a little bit as he's brushing his hair back and draw. So he does this for the rest of your watch.
You want to keep this to yourself?
No. Who's next on the shift?
I'm supposed to look at Bronson before I go back to sleep.
Get Bronson and I'll show you and explain
If you left it that long.
what happened.
Alright, so go over to Bronson and Bronson, you smell
Bronson
Bananas.
you smell
angrily wakes up,
well, he smells
not
cinnamon
seeing
cloves.
not seeing the sun up, and wondering why he was the first watch and he's being woken up in the middle of the night.
You get the wrong one.
It's supposed to be Genji. Bronson. Shh. And I take my finger and put it on his
LARP it.
Yeah, you guys want you LARP it.
And I walk over to Genji. Genji, listen. You need to see something. Wake up.
Okay.
Weapons safe. It's fine.
Okay, so I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bring Bronson Ruru over here.
Budono-san!
And
Yes.
Bronson is like, "Can I get some fucking sleep?"
Bronson's wearing like a nighty cap, like you might see like Ebenezer Scrooge wear, with a little pom pom on the end of it, and he's got like ill-fitting light blue pajamas with little yellow ducks on them. He goes, stands up, and he's like bare midriff and like little splits it. What are you lads talking about?
Valkyrie has something to show us.
Alright, so I'll hand you
Always something to show us.
And so
and then I'll pull out the in the tent, so it's not like
He has like belly
right.
hair.
So I'll put the candle
We have
by
a
him,
really tiny shirt with the
by
ducks
her,
on it.
and
That's
show her
hilarious.
that drawing.
Okay, so you guys look and you see a interesting, near photorealistic drawing on parchment, and you are struck by how many weeks has this guy been drawing this in order to get the shading done so well. You see a scene of what looks like Volker dancing with a woman with entirely too much cloth for it to be functional. It's this billowing dress that is shooting out, and you see different scenes in the dress as it's blowing in the wind, and it looks like he's dancing with her. He's got one arm in the air and one wrapped around her, and the silhouette is done, where you can't really be 100% sure it's him, but it looks uncannily similar to the looks you've seen, because you've been traveling together for so long. It looks like him dancing with this woman. They're on a terrace balcony overlooking this very long valley that extends off into the horizon line, and it seems to be nighttime as this is going on.
The woman had brown hair, and she gave me the feeling of malevolence. I don't know why, but her gown was endlessly flowing, and then a man approached who was wearing wraps all over his body as if they were armor pieces, or his armor was wrapped in these wraps, if you will. And then he stabbed her in the back. And it was odd, though, because he covered her mouth, and when he stabbed her, it was if the light and the colors that came off of her from this blue light that shot out were coalescing into the different realms of existence. I don't know how to interpret the vision of
Intelligence
the
check.
dream.
I'm still asleep.
Oh yeah, you weren't awoken. Never mind.
Should we also wake the giant?
He's
As
knowledgeable about it.
I'll go over.
No, don't bother him. I got this. So this is a symbol of your mom, right? Right, hold on, stay with me. The knife, not the man, the knife is your father. And the man with all the raps, it's alcoholism.
I'll go get the giant. Though I do say,
Yes.
I felt like I just had my palm read.
You see, alcoholism is using your father as a tool to ruin your family and your presence of. And then meanwhile, they're waking up Yotan and getting him. It's like, I know all about this.
all right. So I'll explain it to Jotun again.
So intelligence check, please.
Oh God.
Told you shouldn't have poured.
Reroll it. Reroll it.
Uh,
Is it another one? Reroll that shit. If it's a one.
Pretty good, isn't it?
it is better.
Are you intentionally rolling ones is the question now.
Which one of these is which? Reroll?
Reroll.
We just earned a reroll. Should we spend it on this?
I think it's a big story point.
It is, but that's also like the ability to save us from dying.
Fuck combat. The story's more important.
I love this guy.
Dan wanted it challenging.
You're gonna reroll that.
Reroll
And
your
I'm gonna
intelligence.
give him a bardic inspiration.
Ooh, yeah.
How are you going to inspire him?
I'm
By
going to
giving context to the story.
with a very low like him. I'm gonna like some kind of calming, soothing like.
Okay.
It's D6.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That was D4.
It upgraded to 6 by level.
I guess I'm drunk now.
Well, the roll is better.
What did you roll? A 2?
It's 2.
It's doubled actually.
Yeah, this is,
Did you
twice
roll
as
your
good.
D6?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and I got a 1. But that is a 9.
Yeah, the story is way
Okay.
important.
So,
What are the chances? 1 out of 20
One of
for him to roll a 2.
alright, so you go through everything you can think of, and you've seen this depicted as the goddess of the weave, Mistra. Has like the astro plane, it has the material plane, the Feywild, constantly like she's the cement that holds a lot of things together, and you know that it was her murder that set off the spell plague and the Great Sundering.
What was your name again? Sorry.
Mistra,
M-I-S-T-R.
M-Y.
M-Y.
So I'll explain that to the group. Like that maybe why I was transported to this realm was that act that you have depicted here. But I can't be sure.
Do you think it ties into the larger with the throw hole and the sickness for the dragon lady?
Could very well be related. Time will tell.
Who was the man?
You.
The man that stabbed it was not I.
No, it's alcoholism.
He said his armor was wrapped or something, like a
Lots
like
of
a mummy,
wraps.
or
Yeah, what is the picture could probably explain it better than I could. What did he see in the picture?
You see an individual who is wearing like bands of leather wrapped
So
around.
it's not like mummified. It's like okay.
It's the shit. I can't
And I
think.
never saw his face, so I couldn't draw his face. And his weapon was not unique in any way that I could tell. I checked the details, but my insights reacted poorly.
I think the way you would be picturing this is like you're amazed at the clarity of detail that you're drawing relative to how confused you were whenever you were witnessing the events
Yeah.
from your natty one.
Yeah.
you were more like, where the fuck am I, as opposed to like I have to sit there and focus and really understand what's happening.
What inspired you to create this work of art?
It was a dream or something in my sleep. For I am a bard, and I dream of many things.
Goddamn.
Mountain ranges, covered in snow and pink mists. The tops of these mountains, sorry.
Keep going.
So, I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
And let
Oh,
Fourth watch.
Could I roll an insight? To s-
I need to rest as well.
look back in my studies and see if I can't figure out who this cloaked figure might be.
So it wouldn't be an insight check because you're not trying to see if he is lying or not.
Okay, like a
You could
history
do
or
like
something.
a history
More
check.
mummy than I remember them being, but that's why I was envisioning. Wrapped up, dude.
Wrapped up. Or wrapper. I'll do history. 11.
So you know that
Better than
Like, I've
two.
got this circle
to
around
kick
this
off
section.
the sundering, the forces of the trickster god Cyric plotted and murdered
Oh, look at
Mistra.
this one. This one's got
No.
two rings.
And her death is what
Oh.
fucked up the weave, which is where all magical energies intermingle across all the different planes of existence. And whenever that got ripped and torn, this blue light shot out from Mount Celestia, out and across all the different realms. And so it took a different amount of time. Like think of in the middle of space a supernova. It's going to take a bit for it to go all the way through all the planes. To a god, it's instantaneous, but to mortals who have such a short span of life, it's a few years after that everything gets ripped apart and the like.
I happened to see a blue shift when I was in the training session with the.
So at that moment, whenever you were getting pulled in, so that was 1385 Drow Reckoning, whenever that took place.
Okay.
And let's see. So you're almost born 100 years after that
Okay.
took place.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I'll
So
explain about
1476 Drow Reckoning is whenever you got ripped out.
Okay. Well, so I'll explain anything that I know about Cyric. Like this might be that hooded figure that murdered Maestro. But that's about all I know.
Okay.
It's speculation at this point.
Huh.
You seem. Oh, I'm not there.
Bronson has been slowly changing back into his normal clothes throughout this.
Nice.
He goes, man, what are you doing dreaming about such lofty nonsense? I had a bad dream about eating too many bananas.
Your poop still floats.
That's right, but I'm so well cleaned up. It's wonderful. I feel younger than I ever have. Where is Zandala for this? Oh wait, she doesn't sleep.
Nobody's been looking at her.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so she's sitting there in the
Look over at
corner,
her.
witnessing everything, and she's got a wry grin on her face, watching all of you.
So yeah, so I
Well,
go,
about-
lady, what do you think of all this?
Well, the touch of the gods into our dreams is considered the higher form of flattery, but to
Which one?
be reminded of such a horrible event where so many of us were incapable of using our powers. And she looks over at Jotun whenever she says that. It is just now that the repercussions from this have quelled to the point where we can, the bold and practiced amongst us, be able to leverage our craft to progress forward. I find it interesting that they would come to you, such a crass and vulgar individual.
Bronson elbows Yotan and goes, Vulgar pretty much rhymes with vulgar, and I really like that.
Yes, yes. Also, I'm the most sophisticated of the group.
Am I awake? Can I
well.
start raucously laughing again?
You have something like back up!
Alright, I'm done.
Maybe it's my touch with the Mohandri pantheon. I am special after all. These normal ones don't have the gift of music.
I really feel like you should most set your guitar.
That's not.
Oh, yeah.
That's not fair. Real world
skill.
Don't meta this.
Too meta, yeah.
That's overly meta.
Okay.
Alright. We still have another watch to go?
Yep. Perception check.
I'll stay awake and help him, even though
6.
I dislike his smell.
Okay. Again, the storm is picking up gusto, as you would assume the sun would be rising after the last several days. The ground beneath you is starting to sheet over with water. So
sheet.
the rest of you guys are awoken as you've picked a relatively low-lying area, and it's starting to get some pretty heavy rainfall.
Stand up, shake our stuff out, and get packed up again.
I'm gonna mosey over to Bronson and I'm just under my breath gonna mention, you know, I was thinking of Nastro and our time, our connection in the past. Have we moved further forward in any way in our original quest?
So he's talking about like the investigation you guys were doing on the Seven Sons.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like,
Lad, all I can tell you is that it sounds like we're gonna find out what's going on with all that sooner we get to investigating what's going on with Genji's kidnapped sisters.
Yes, all right.
I'm expending a ration for the night
thank you.
that I ate. And then in the morning, as we're gathering our stuff, I want to take my water skin, the 2 water skins that I'd emptied during the night, and try to fill them from water coming, if I can.
Okay. Yeah, it's relatively easy with the volume of water that's coming down.
We refill our water skins from the sky.
Okay. Everybody make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no!
20.
5.
5.
21.
12.
21-12. Oh.
Okay.
This must mean something.
Yeah.
It's a rush hour.
It is
5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So,
in the pipe.
you guys aren't necessarily exhausted, but you were teetering to where you really didn't get that good of sleep, the two of you.
Yes.
Obviously, your trouble from the dream that you had, and Glaz, the level of comfort that you were starting to have. Everybody's gelling really well. You're bothered just because of your how much compassion you feel for those around you, the lack of knowledge. So you want to make sure he's okay on the compassion side, and then the lack of knowledge on all of this and his inability to articulate to you. You're extremely frustrated, and so you're pondering that, and it doesn't really allow you to sleep that much more. You all get the benefit of a long rest, but it may impact your ability to execute today.
Okay. Now, I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm worried about you. So let's be mindful of your thoughts as you go to sleep at night.
And he sees me, and I'm like, she sees me. Correct. Thank you. I had done this. I walked up a tree, and I was like looking at him like sideways, like looking at her like that, using my slippers.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like hanging out there.
So
Bronson comes and does pull-ups on his leg. Doing his morning calisthenics.
Yeah, it didn't really make me feel any better, but it's quite impressive what you could do with the slippers.
Bronson's showing off and doing lefty one-handed pull-ups on him too.
So,
think we need to still head to the northwest this way.
All right.
You're
So
pulling on the wrong appendage, my friend.
He promptly lets go and goes, disagree! And slaps him as well. Come on, lad!
so you get a vigorous slap to your buttocks.
Oh.
And
Any wine with that cheese?
What's that cheese? What? I don't understand.
you're not dimpled. You're fine. So it's cell day the 16th.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have been in the jungles for 7 days, I want to say. You guys came in on the 12th, didn't you?
Sounds about right.
Or,
So it was the 16th?
yeah, 16th, sorry.
Yeah, it's the 16th.
So you guys would have come in, what, on the 9th?
We left on the 6th. The 6th, so 10
Yeah.
days.
So you've been a week away from true civilization, and last night's rain has been a harsh reminder of what roughing it really is in such an alien environment. It's been hard for a lot of you guys to really get much rest as you've been up and moving, but it's a new day. It's raining, so that's going to increase your difficulty of moving through the terrain. But the days ahead of you, what are your actions?
At some point, I'd like to see if our elven counterpart might be able to help me copy some spell into my spell book. But we'll have to be resting at some point. But
I'm gonna ask her if you do it tonight.
at the next rest or something, I'd like to see if there's something. Fairy fire is something that I was looking for, but if there's anything
Like shooting trench you?
Yeah.
Between her spell book to yours?
Yeah, because I would still have to pay the gold cost and
But
copy
you usually
down.
need a scroll, right?
You can copy from
You can
spell
copy
books
from
when
the
you
book.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. There's a material cost based on the level of the spell. which
So
is the
you're
paper
going to have to
use.
do a persuasion job because it's power, and she has just met you guys. So do you want to broach the conversation now or this evening or?
I'll wait till we're rested, until we're
Okay.
sitting somewhere.
So dangerous. I'm eating all of them.
That's, I had this other
Quit eating them.
I'm trying.
We haven't even had any over here.
Shenanigans,
And what if we want
Zendala?
to pick out and have like 4?
Pass the Oreos over here, if you don't mind.
Sorry,
No,
Sam,
don't.
I ate all your brownies.
Did you hear Dave?
No, don't pass them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are
These
not
things are
good.
the best.
They're
Oh,
so
jeez.
good.
Chocolate.
I think I've had 5.
Set those over by Dan. Oh.
No. No.
Dude,
No. God damn it. Don't look at that, Dave. What are you doing?
I want to know how they keep them like moist.
Chemicals.
Buy lots of eggs.
Yeah,
Baby
there's a lot
oil.
of things in there.
The soul of
Soy
small
lectin.
cherubs.
Ooh.
Little ball meeting, boys. Churning butter.
Really
That's what
churning
palm
it.
oil is, yeah.
Churning.
He had his
really
head down, focused on DMing until he heard pop, and then
The stream's right there.
they come back. We went yellow for a second.
Okay. All right. So
Setting up.
Yeah.
You guys
same
set
marching
off?
order, yeah.
give me for the morning at disadvantage, so just regular.
Because of the range.
Yep.
Whoa. Okay.
25.
Okay.
Whoa.
So you have a pretty good feel for the direction that you're headed, just based upon seeing some peaks that you had seen from the ramparts. And you don't think like mountain, just elevated areas. You're starting to feel the ground move up, so you have a general idea where you're at. You're thinking you're getting pretty close.
Okay.
Depending on how hard of a slog it's going to be, as you do start going uphill, it's becoming more and more difficult to be able to, maneuver through here. So any mitigation that you guys want to do to make your movement easier, are you guys going to try to leverage tools? Or are you going to try to, go slower to be safer? What kind is the actions are you guys going to do in this?
Would lead a rope between us.
Well, what's the angle of the incline?
So I mean, you're starting from maybe a 5-degree pitch that's really starting to burn your calves as you're trying to find good footing and walk up to where it becomes a pretty decent glute workout as it's getting up near like 10 to 12-degree pitch.
And the ground's muddy and slick and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we should do a rope maybe.
I guess. I mean, is that even helpful? That's the only thing I could like. In real life, when we're all hiking up to the top of a mountain and it's slippery out, like it makes sense a little bit to the lead. You put like the strongest people up at the front, and they're both holding onto a rope, and then the smaller and slower people to the back. So if they need to, they can pull on it a little bit. But,
Yeah, we should just tie a rope around all of our waists. And
yeah.
So that we guys want
Sure.
to do.
yeah.
So
enough length that we've got some slack between us.
a 50-foot rope. I think it's the longest length of one rope that any of you guys
We'll
have.
tie our 2 ropes
Okay.
together.
I have
Sure.
2 sections of 50 feet.
We'll just use Jotun's ropes
Okay.
to make it easy.
So you guys all tie off. You start walking, going up. So you're grabbing whatever you can from trees and stuff like
I'm
that.
gonna take one of my pitons out and kind of use that as I'm going.
Okay.
So one hand's occupied with that, and the other's free for grabbing on the limbs and stuff like that.
And Hugh's not exactly struggling, but he's not
Yeah.
doing well
Sure.
because he slips and he only has one arm to be able to catch
Right.
anything with.
I'm up at the front with you next to me.
Okay.
And I'm also, and I should have said this earlier in camp, but as I noticed as we're tying each other off, I noticed that the solve from the day before is worn off. So I'm gonna apply
Reapply.
solve to. I got to also apply solve to everybody. So I'll take the doses off me. So there's 5 of us, and here that's 7 total. I'm down to 69.
I don't get it. Okay. So you guys start heading up. I need everybody to roll a Constitution saving throw to see if you injure yourself.
Oh, natty 20,
Get that,
Get that
man,
man.
some gut
which
rot.
comes to a 26.
Okay.
17.
50.
Rot my guts. Can I have a cut?
14.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I forgot.
Activate yourself slowly.
Oh, it's sound.
Hey, I
where were
looked
you at?
those up. They're not
9.
that bad.
Where were you at?
17.
Yeah, it's the caffeine in those. There's not
I was
enough
actually
sugar.
getting sleepy. This is good.
So Genji, thank you. That's a nice, not a compliment.
Has nothing to do with anything going on.
Okay.
It's physiological.
Physiological.
Physiological. So as you guys are walking, Genji about tumbles
Get
over the side of a cliff. But with your 20, you're able to grab and loop the rope around your forearm and pull him back.
Sweet.
Would have been a decent tumble.
Were you trying to ninja disappear over the side of the cliff? I'm
I'm just gonna look at him and like, mental noted.
He loses his accent entirely and says exactly that. Noted.
I'll also say, oh, I'm watching your little fruit trick as well, Miss Master Ninja.
What's the position of it? So as I look over my shoulder at Valkyrie, and then I look back at Genji, and as you're still looking at Valkyrie, I just go.
There's no perception or
He's
Well,
behind you.
you see me. You
Yeah,
see
he-
me.
he's very clearly seeing this. That's great.
We know that you know that you know that.
Nope. Nope.
No.
Nope.
too many.
So
You
while
know
we're all
that I
slipping
know.
along and I'm saving him and we're making fun of each other, is Zandala just like calmly floating up the mountain?
She
Or
has,
just like walking at 45 degrees, no problem.
she has a grace about her
Why?
that is impressive. What?
Don't your boots make it so that you're
Yeah.
walking like easy
Yeah.
no matter what? Yeah.
So I made the joke about him trying to disappear,
Gotcha.
ninja disappear.
Yeah, because you're fine on the slippery nonsense. Cool. We close to that wreckage?
So you guys make it to the top of the rise. Looking out because you're seeing kind of a clearing towards the top up here. It looks like maybe there was a building that was here before, that was on here, but you're not 100% sure. There's stones that have been purposely placed and mortared together that litter the ground by where you're at, but they're old, and it looks as if, if this area had been used, it's been abandoned at least for a while.
Interesting.
But
no,
you
like,
have a good
structure.
vantage of the area around.
Gotcha. So there's no like structure. It's like a foundation type deal.
Are there any trees?
Lots of trees.
Yeah, there's trees, but this area is somewhat of a clearing.
I want to climb with my shoes up the tallest tree I can see around us.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Get a spot.
You,
Yeah,
you get up to the
Tippy
tippy top, but you're only halfway there.
That's fair.
Think about it.
I'm gonna look out and look for any kind of like place where I can see where the trees, the treetop is smashed in from the ship coming down.
Yeah, so you can see out
Did you give up?
west, northwest, and you can see a pillar of smoke that's faint, but you think that something is burning over there. You can also look out and see some across the landscape peaks of buildings. Yeah! Hi, buddy.
Yeah, he's
So excited.
Do you need anything on the internet?
Is it getting slow?
Yeah, can you guys minimize your bandwidth usage if you get anything up on the internet?
I guess I'll stop.
Are you
downloading
watching
this
YouTube
50 gig
again?
game right now.
I've only
Are you
got.
serious?
Do you remember when she used to watch YouTube all the time?
I'll stop playing with you.
Yeah.
I've just got D&D Beyond open.
Yeah. it's
D&D
all-
Beyond?
That's
Yeah,
it.
we are. And a D&D Beyond?
Yeah,
it's-
we're green.
We're green now. We were
That was
red.
Dan. That was Dan.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Thanks, buddy.
What just happened?
We lost our rain.
No.
You're crazy.
Rain's
Those are
back.
the pajamas that I.
What sound does a monkey
Bronson
make?
has on.
Perfect.
Unicorns.
Missing midriff is perfect.
And like at the seams, it's like split.
Hello, little one.
'Cause he's
Would
had them
you
since he
like
was
some
12,
of
and now
the
he's like a
magic?
300 pound, like, ripped. He's Brock Lesnar,
Patches,
basically.
yeah.
No.
All the biceps.
No,
and
mama.
the-
Yeah, I really need to get back to doodling and draw. Some
Whoa.
guys. I did that for a Star Wars campaign a little bit, and they were really good. Just never finished them.
Whoop, watch the
But
head.
yeah, when we had, I drew Soa's character with the meat posse shirt on.
Yeah.
From the
Oh yeah,
adventure.
that's right. That's right.
But Soa's character wore him as a
We
necklace.
keep,
Oh, it dropped to 0.
we keep going red.
It's ridiculous.
To be a weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing it's.
Oh. Stream dropped.
Yeah, we're,
Oh, it's just now
We're-
catching up on Twitch to what we're actually broadcasting.
yeah, we're going red in the...
I can go reset the router if we want to pause the actions and then come
I
back
think
up.
because is your D20, my
Might as
D20 is
well.
not updated.
Yeah, I think we're losing it.
It is.
No, like if I go. Oh, is that? That's all the bigger the map is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So zoom into where that fills the screen. There you go.
Things a little more too.
You want more or less?
Yeah, but
more
more.
zoom or less?
Smaller squares.
Smaller squares, okay.
Still smaller squares. A little bit more. One more. Okay. Perfect.
Pardon me.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Ooh! Drop that stuff. Runes. Damn, we need to do something with those bricks.
All of your time, my friend.
Oh, do you have plans? Okay. Let me know how I can help.
Okay, so